I'm Cynthia Northcote and am joined by Pat Poletti from Mineral Systems. This is the first of our 2017 series of chats. Today we talk to Pat about early spring. Pat, it's been a wet winter so far, and with calving underway in much of the country, what will the biggest impact of this weather be on cows due to calve?
In late pregnancy cows, the biggest risk is weight loss. Within the last month of pregnancy is when the eggs in the ovary begin to form for the coming season. With cows with weight loss in that last month, that process will be delayed and therefore impact on their reproductive performance later. The wet weather will, just as we found last season, will reduce the dry matter percentage in pastures. And when that falls below about 15%, intakes will also fall, and as we know, they'll be ingesting a lot of water at the same time. So it makes it very hard for them to get enough energy going into calving, essentially. With that, if you are supplementing with magnesium, etc., then the efficiency of supplementation, be it water supply or dusting, will also be reduced and makes the likelihood of milk fever and subclinical milk fever increase. So yeah, it's a bit hard on the cows all round.
Thanks, Pat. You mentioned milk fever, both clinical and subclinical. What signs does the subclinical cow have, and how do we manage her?
Well, by its definition, subclinical means there are no clinical signs. But there is a lot going on with milk fever. The down cow, classical down milk fever cow, is the end of the line, really. But we do know that those animals that are affected but not down, first thing they lose is their appetite, so they're just not eating as well. Infection risk goes up, such as mastitis rates, cell count, infected uterus. There is higher incidence of problems with calvings, particularly malpresented calves like a leg back or a head back. The calving process is a lot slower, so we have calves hitting the deck that have taken a long time to calve, so they're weak, they're slower to get up, and they're slower to suckle, and they're less aggressive in suckling, so their colostrum intakes are reduced. And the loss of intake also contributes to ketosis, negative energy balance. So there is a lot going on with cows that we just can't see, but we need to make sure we can identify those problems through identifying milk fever risk in the diet.
The industry target for clinical milk fever is less than 1 in 100 cows. Unfortunately, many farmers have higher numbers. What's your reaction to this target?
I think the target's very good. It's an aspirational target, and milk fever is a big risk. Have dairy cows, you will have milk fever, but we only do really want the occasional case of any. So any more than that, there is an issue going on. We know that for every milk fever cow, there is 20 cows that are affected subclinically. So we quite often hear the iceberg effect, and I think that's very true. So it's a good goal, one we can achieve, and one we should be looking to achieve.
Thanks so much for your time, Pat. And we look forward to talking to you again a little later in spring. In the meantime, if any of you that are listening to this have any questions for Pat, please feel free to get in touch. Bye for now.